and welcome back to Yoga with Michelle. Today we are continuing with the 8 limbs of yoga. We're on the second limb today, which are the 5 Niyamas. So the 5 Niyamas, they focus on self-discipline and spiritual observances. So listen as I say them and see if any of them resonate with what's going on with your life today. And that's going to be our intention for our practice. So the first one is saucha, cleanliness. That could be clean physically, mentally, emotionally, noticing what's coming in. Is it beneficial? Is it helping your mental state? Or is it more of like a toxic thing that's coming in? Santosha, contentment with the way things are. That one is a big one for me right now. Tapas, heat. So it's more of this idea of you build the heat, and the heat can kind of burn away the crud that is no longer serving you. Svadhyaya, study of the sacred scriptures and of one's self. Now these sacred scriptures can be really whatever makes sense for you. For me, it's the Bible and scripture, reading some devotionals. For you, it might be poetry. Whatever is sacred to you that also fills you up and helps you with this self-discipline and spiritual observances. And the 5th one is Svara Pranidhana, or surrender to God. So for me, it is God. For you, maybe it is just you surrender. Just surrendering in general to what is going on around us and in the world. So these are the 5 Niyamas. We're going to get started in child's pose. So we're going to bring our feet together, knees wide, send the hips back, and then walk the fingertips out as far as you can, resting the head on the mat. Maybe you rock the head gently side to side, just massaging that third eye. Breathing deeply, melt the heart down a little bit more, focusing on your intention, whatever that is for you today. And then on your next inhale, coming up to tabletop, tuck the toes, lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. So maybe you find stillness in your down dog. You could shake your head yes and no, pedal out the heels, bend the knees, really whatever works for you today. Take a deep breath in as you exhale, gaze to the top of the mat, step forward, coming into your forward fold. So if this is your first forward fold of the day, maybe you bring the hands up a little bit higher and then you sway here. Trying to bring the weight closer to the balls of the feet. Then melt a little bit farther, maybe grabbing behind the legs. Then relax slowly, begin to roll up, 1 vertebra at a time. Shoulders and head come up last. We're going to do some standing cat-cows. So we're going to bend the knees, bring the arms out in front. As you inhale, draw the shoulder blades back, open the heart, back, bend the back. As you exhale, chin to chest, belly in, and round. So we're also working with the pelvis. So inhale, open it up. Exhale. Let's do 3 more. Inhale, open. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. 1 more inhale. And exhale. And inhale. Stand all the way up. Reach the hands. Maybe a slight back bend as you exhale. Fold forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, bend the knees. Plant the hands. Step back into your high planks. We're going to lower all the way down to the belly. We're going to separate the feet, mats with distance, and then come onto the tops of the fingertips, the outside of your mat. Inhale, rise up to seal, and as you exhale, lower down. 2 more. Inhale, rolling up. Exhale, lower down. 1 more. Inhale up. And then exhale, lower down. Tuck the toes, lift the kneecaps, take a breath in. Exhale through plank, and then downward facing dog. Inhale, lift that right leg high. Exhale, bring it through. Seal off that back heel, rise up for warrior 1. So for this first round, we're going to take these postures a little bit slower, and then we'll speed it up. 1 breath, 1 movement. Take the hands behind the back. Inhale, lift the heart as you exhale, fold for humble warrior. So the shoulder's going to come to the inside of the knee. The tendency is to kind of pop this hip out. You really want to bring that hip back in line. As you inhale, lift the arms, lift that back heel, coming up into your high crescent lunge. Sink the hips, Lift the heart. Try to create a neutral pelvis here. So what that does is really stretches through that psoas of the opposite leg and really strengthens through this front leg. Breathe in. Exhale, airplane arms, airplane torso. Belly is in, strong back. Inhale to crescent. Exhale, open arm twist. So allowing that twist to come from that low belly as well as from the shoulders. So you're kind of working all the way up through the spine. Inhale back to crescent as you exhale, open out. Warrior two. Sink deep. Inhale, and as you exhale, windmill down. Plant the hands, step back, high plank. We're going to lower to the knees, to the tops of the feet for modified chaturanga. Elbows back. Breath in. Exhale, lower part way. Inhale, just lift the chest. Exhale, tuck the toes, lift the hips up and back. Downward facing dog. Deep breath in. And deep breath out. Same thing. Second side. Inhale, left leg lifts high. Exhale, bring it through. Seal off that back heel. Rising up, warrior one. So take your time to set it up. Square hips, ribs, and shoulders. Still trying to find that neutral spine here. So it's a little bit harder than in our high crescent lunge. But you still get the great benefit. So you're stretching through this back leg and strengthening through this front leg. And take the hands behind the back, clasp the opposite way. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, humble warrior. So keep that left hip inside the midline. Deep breath here. On your next inhale, rising up, high crescent lunge. Lift that back heel, still sinking deep into the hips, into the legs. Inhale, exhale, airplane arms, airplane torso. So keeping that left hip inside, really firing up here. Inhale, lunge. Exhale, open twist. So working through that lumbar spine, the thoracic spine, and all the way up to the cervical spine with the twist. Inhale, come back up to lunge. Exhale, open out, warrior two. So now everything is outwardly rotating. You sink the hips slow, shoulders stack right over your hips. Relax the shoulders, gaze over that front middle finger. Deep breath in. Exhale, windmill down. Go or flow, downward facing dog. So in your down dog, walk the feet a little bit closer to your hands. So your heels might touch the ground. We're going to a twist. So take your left hand to the outside of your right leg, really anywhere you can grab. And then use that left hand to pull the torso so you're looking underneath that right armpit. 2 more breaths. And inhale back to down dog, exhale. Inhale, breathe in as you exhale, right hand to the outside of that left leg. Use that arm as leverage, look under that left armpit. 3 more breaths. Inhale, place that hand, exhale, down dog. Take a deep breath in, exhale, let everything go. Gaze to the top of the mat, walk, step, float. Come to your forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, float. Inhale, rise all the way up. Press the hands. Exhale into mountain pose. Now if you have low back issues, you can keep the feet hip width distance or go ahead. Bring the big toes to touch. Slight space between the heels. Hands to the heart. Inhale, lift the arms. Maybe a baby back bend. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, bend the knees, go or flow, downward facing dog. So we're going to pick up the pace a little bit. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, bring it through. Inhale, rising up, warrior one. Exhale, sink. Inhale, plant, or bring the hands behind the back. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, humble. Inhale, high crescent lunge. Exhale, airplane arm, airplane torso. Inhale, lunge. Exhale, twist. Warrior two. Inhale, windmill. Exhale, sink. Warrior two. Inhale, and as you exhale, windmill down, go or flow. Downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, bring it through. Rising up, inhale, warrior one, exhale, sink the hips. Inhale, clasp the hands behind the back, lift the heart, exhale, fold. Humble. Inhale, high lunge. Exhale, airplane arm, airplane torso. Inhale, lunge. Exhale, twist. Inhale, windmill open. Exhale, sink down. Warrior two, take a breath in. Exhale, go or flow. Downward facing dog. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. We'll do that one more time. Inhale as you exhale, gaze to the top of the mat. Hop, step, float. Forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, this time we're going to come to a ball squat. Finding your balance. Hands to the heart. Now you can stay here. You can open up the knees. Bring the hips back. Extend the arms. Maybe you wrap the hands around. Cupping the heels. Find your balance. Inhale, release. Exhale. Down pose. Stand up really strong and tall. Lift the kneecaps. Inhale, baby back bend. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, go or flow. Downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, bring it through. Inhale, rise up, warrior one. Exhale, sink. Clasp the hands behind the back. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, humble warrior. Inhale, lunge. Exhale, airplane arms, airplane torso. Inhale, lunge. Exhale, twist. Inhale, windmill. Exhale, sink. Warrior two. Inhale. Exhale, go or flow. Downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, bring it through. Inhale, rise up, warrior one. Exhale, sink. Inhale, clasp the hands, lift the heart. Exhale, humble. Inhale, lunge. Exhale, airplane arms, airplane torso. Inhale, lunge. Exhale, twist. Inhale, windmill. Exhale, warrior two. Take a breath in, go or flow. Downward facing dog. Then from here, we're going into puppy pose. So come down onto the knees. I like to tuck my toes and separate my knees a little bit wider here. Extend the arms out. Melt the heart down. Nice stretch through the shoulders. You can keep the forehead to the mat or bring the chin to the mat. 2 more breaths. Then begin to walk the hands up. We're going to sit back into our hero's pose. So you can sit on the heels or bring the bum in between the feet, maybe placing a book, a block, a pillow, something under the hips. I'm going to stretch out with eagle pose with the arms. So right arm underneath left, wrap and bind, lift the elbows to shoulder height, relax the shoulders. Begin to bring the fingertips forward, stretching through the shoulders. Belly in, crown of the head lifts, relax. As you inhale, bring the arms up. Exhale, left arm underneath right, wrap and bind, lift the elbows to shoulder height, relax the shoulders, and then bring the fingertips forward, relaxing the neck. 3 more breaths. And then release, inhale up. Exhale, hands to the heart. Coming into our gate pose. So have one knee to the mat. Extend the other leg out. The foot is flat, toes facing forward. Inhale, and as you exhale, reach up and over. So we're going to flow with this. Inhale, exhale. Just 2 more each side. Try to use that waist to flow. Maybe that bottom hand doesn't even touch. 1 more. And coming back up, both knees together. Opposite leg goes out. Really press that foot. Inhale, as you exhale, stretch. Inhale, exhale. So you got 2 more. So this time, maybe you just use the core to get that stretch. Inhale, back up, and make your way to downward facing dog. We're going to step this right foot to the outside of the right hand for our low lunge stretch, dragon or lizard. So I'm going to stay upright first. Right heel in, right toes out. So really opening up through this hip. You can stay here if you want. You can bend that back leg, reaching back, grabbing the outside of the foot. You can stay here. You can use your bicep to really get that stretch through the quadricep. Keep the heart lifted, so it's a twist, it's a stretch, the whole thing. Shoulders away from the ears. Breath in, breath out. On your next inhale, find length. Exhale, release. Coming into your Ardha Hanuman, half split. So flex this front foot, melt the heart, hips right over the knees. Deep breath. On your next inhale, come forward, plant the hands, tuck the toes, step back, downward facing dog. So same thing on that left side. Take a breath in, exhale, left foot to the outside, that left hand, left heel in, left toes out. Sink the hips, so you can stay on the hands, or you can come down onto the forearms. If you want that quadricep stretch, bend that back knee, open up with that arm. Grab the outside of the foot, so you can stay here, really sink the hips, or begin to pull that heel toward the glutes. Two more breaths. Inhale as you exhale, release, coming to that Ardha Hanuman. So bring that foot a little bit closer to the center of the mat. Square off the hip, so sometimes you want to open up. You want to square it off. Hip right in line with that knee. Inhale, find length. Exhale, fold. So you don't have to go super deep to really feel this stretch. You want to keep that nice flat back, hinging from the hips. Inhale, coming forward, plant the hands, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Take a breath in. As you exhale, gaze to the top of the mat, stepping forward. We're going to make our way down onto the back. Hug the knees into the chest. Rock gently side to side, taking some circles with the knees. Massage out that low back, and then take it to the other side. Coming back to center. Bring your feet together, knees wide for Supta Baddha Konasana. Inhale, float the arms up and overhead, and exhale, float them back down. 4 more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. 2 more. Breathe in. Breathe out. And the last one, breathe in. Breathe out. And place your hands to the outside of the knees. Bring them up. Walk the feet close to the hips. Knees in line with the hip bones. Feet are slightly pigeon-toed. Press the palms beside the body. Snuggle the shoulders down the back. Breath in. Lift up for your bridge pose. Really stamp down with the feet. Lift the hips. Chin away from the chest. So the chest is sort of moving toward the chin. Relaxing the belly. That tailbone is lengthening toward the knees. You can bring your palms up, clasp your hands behind your back, whatever works for you. Now you can stay here. You can begin to lift that right leg up. Let's pulse. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Both feet down. Other leg lifts and pulse. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Both feet down. Inhale, lift the hips. Exhale, lower all the way down. Recline pigeon stretch. Flex the right foot. Place it over the left knee. Breath in. Exhale. Hug it in. Relax the tailbone down. You can even close your eyes here for these stretches. Breathing. 2 more breaths. As you exhale, begin to release both feet down, switching to the other side. Breath in, exhale, recline pigeon stretch. So you take it to your depth. Notice each side might be different. You can grab behind the thigh. You can even keep this foot on the ground, just gently pressing away. 2 more breaths wherever you are. And begin to hug the knees into the chest. Open out to happy baby. So flex the feet, bend the knees. You can grab a hold of the ankles inside of the feet, the outside of the feet. It's a nice gentle stretch for the inner and outer thighs, as well as a gentle inversion. Again, uncurl that tailbone, make sure that low back is nice and flat to the mat. One more breath in. And as you exhale, lower everything down. So we're going to go into a constructive rest for our relaxation. Feet mats width distance, knees come together. Let's take our palms by our side. Close your eyes. Softening your body. Allow the breath to become relaxed. Nothing forced. You have the time, you can stay here as long as you like. Maybe going into some prayer or meditation. If you would like to move on with your day, begin to bring the knees into the chest. Get a nice squeeze. Breathe in as you exhale, roll over onto one side, and with as little effort as possible, coming up to a seated posture. Hands at heart center. Let's take one deep breath in together. Exhale, hands to the heart. The light in me sees the light in each of you. Namaste.